Find your back, or you can find your seat. We will start on our back, so if you want to start in that way, you can even start standing. You guys know the drill. We'll connect with our breath. Maybe breathing out the mouth to let that heat out, just like when a dog pants, they kind of the way I've been feeling lately with the heat. So feel free to just breathe in through the nose. Tank's here with us. We'll just ground a little bit before we start our movement. Guys, I read something the other day and it said that we have 60,000 thoughts per day. Who knows how they measure that, but let's just go with it. 60,000 thoughts a day. 59,000 of them are ones we had the day before. So I invite us to be mindful of those thoughts that we're recycling. Mindful of those 59,000 that come back in. Are they supportive of us? What are we thinking? What are we rethinking? And although we feel as though we can't control our thoughts and where they come from, maybe we can be mindful of our response to the thoughts. Maybe we create a mantra. In yoga, those thoughts are called vrittis. And when we have them over and over, it's a vasana. It's a deeply rooted thought. So for our practice today, let's pick a thought, maybe an empowering thought for ourselves, and we'll repeat it throughout our practice. So give yourself a moment, feel that thought, find that thought, let it come up. Check in that it's empowering. And we're going to harvest and cultivate that thought throughout our practice. And if you're not on your back already, let's find the back and bring those knees into the chest, hugging the knees in, rocking side to side. Maybe exhale as you draw them in a little closer. My knees always tend to fall to the side. I try to open my hips up, so allow that to happen if that feels good. And on your back, still with those knees into the chest, flip the soles of the feet to face each other. So it's kind of like an on the back raised feet butterfly, if that makes sense. So the knees are kind of lifted, just opening up the hips if that feels okay. Breathe in and out a couple times. We draw the feet down or close to the chest. And then let's exhale, bring those knees to meet. Keep the right knee hugged in. The left leg goes long, but hover that heel. So the foot hovers. The right knee hugs in. And then exhale, send the right leg long. Hover the heel, hug the left knee in. Get nice and comfy on the back, maybe a flat back. And then we'll go switch, one leg out, one leg in. Switch again. Breathe in, switch. Switch. Maybe you go quick, maybe you go slow, but draw the belly button to the floor. Find the floor. Just alternate knees in. One at a time. Maybe starting to feel the heat build up a little bit. Let's go one more time each side. And when you get to that final side, send both legs out. Woo! Maybe bend the knees. And then we'll rock and roll up to boat pose. You can take a couple rolls. Maybe you want to roll to each side. Let's meet in boat. So the feet out, kind of recline the back, but draw the shoulders back, the chest forward. Bring the hands to prayer. Maybe extend the feet long. Find that thought and say that thought to yourself. And we'll exhale, bend the knees, maybe the heart lifts, chest comes forward. Extend the arms out. Now let's twist over to the right. So the hands go to the right, the gaze to the left. Then exhale, hands to the left, gaze to the right. And then on your own, do that a couple times. Head and hands are going opposite way, building that heat in the core. And one more time each side. If you don't know what that, you're like, wait, where was I? Just knee with the feet long, legs long. Flex the feet towards the face. Maybe the hands reach for the toes, but keep the shoulders back, the heart forward. And we'll exhale, lower those heels really slow. Bring the hands to the floor. Ooh, exhale, side. Let's come to stand, Uttanasana. Maybe crossing the feet to stand. So the right leg's in front of the left or vice versa. And then switch that crisscross, so the other leg's in front now. And then bend the knees, find the seat side by side. There's no crossing the legs. Bend the knees, rise all the way to stand. Gather that thought in the palms. Exhale, draw it into your heart space. Breathe in. Exhale, sigh out the heat. Take a breath in to own that thought and let it be one of the new 1,000 thoughts that we think today. Inhale, reach the hands skyward. Exhale, fold it forward, coming into a sun salutation, fold forward. Inhale, up to a flat back. Extend through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, step the left foot back and then the right foot. Coming into plank pose with the hips. Tuck the pelvis. Pressing hands down, let's lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Exhale, breathe out. Find that thought, cultivate it. And then exhale, step it forward, Uttanasana, as we bring the knees towards the forehead, forward towards the knees, and bend the knees. Rise up, gather that thought, scoop it above the head. Exhale, draw it into your heart space. Inhale, reach the hands to sky. Maybe a slight back bend, and then we exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, step that left foot back, lower the knee, rise up, lift through the hips. But press that left hip forward, so it feels like you're driving the left hip forward as we lift up out of the ground. Arms come above the head. Breathe in. Exhale, draw that thought down into your heart space. Breathe in. And exhale over towards the right leg or whichever leg is bent. Arms can come out and extend. And exhale back to center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Gather the thought. Exhale, believe it to be true as you draw it into your heart. Inhale. And now let's exhale to lean forward and frame that foot. And if you want to bring the mat in and double the mat, sometimes it hurts my knee when I do this if I don't. Maybe bring the mat, find some padding for that knee. Because we're going to lift the heart, bring the hands to the top of the right thigh, and then draw that foot towards the glute. And drive that left hip forward. And maybe we find the left foot with the left hand. Maybe a little hamstring stretch as we rise up and back. Breathe in. Now exhale, lower that left foot down gingerly and carefully. Bring the hands to frame the foot and come into your plank pose as we bring the hands down, step the right foot back. And we'll lower down, exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathe it out through the mouth. Inhale. And then exhale, step the left foot forward, lower that right knee. You can bring the mat in right now if you want. We'll rise up. Inhale. Gather that thought between the palms. Maybe feel it pulsating from palm to palm. And then exhale, draw it into your heart space. Breathe in. And then exhale, twist towards the left. And if you want, you can extend those arms out. Drive that right hip forward as we twist. We're twisting with the sternum and the heart, not so much the hips. Breathe in. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, reach the hands above the head. Exhale, hand comes to the heart. And get that right knee comfortable because we're going to bend that foot up. Feel that quad stretch to kind of drive the hips forward, and that right hand can find the foot, and then kind of go back and rise up. Pulling that foot in, driving that right hip forward. Breathe in. Exhale, sigh. One more breath in. Then exhale, lower that foot. Don't let it just flop down like a dead fish. Lower it down with control. And then breathe the arms up again. Exhale, fold it forward to frame the foot. Move that mat or blanket out of the way. Let's step it back to plank pose. Breathe in. Exhale to lower down onto our forearms. Coming into a forearm plank. Keep those elbows underneath the shoulders. Breathe in. Now let's exhale, twist that left arm so the forearm comes in and across the mat, and then we'll lift into forearm plank. Maybe the arm comes straight up for a breath. Now let's exhale, bring that hand behind the head, and then we're going to twist that elbow towards the top of the hand. And then inhale, reach up from elbow to elbow. Maybe do that 2 or 3 more times. Elbow to the top of the hand. Inhale to reach it up. Exhale, lower down, elbow taps the top of the hand. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, lower that right forearm down. We're going to rest, take a little breath in forearm plank, breathe in. Exhale, pivot that right arm so it's parallel with the front of the mat. Reach up through side plank on the other side. Forearm side plank. Exhale to bring the hand behind the head maybe. And you can tap that elbow to the top of the hand many times as you want. And always an option to lower that foot down as it kicks down. Maybe do this 4 or 5 times. And then come back to forearm plank. Breathe in. Now exhale, send the hips up. Walk the feet towards those elbows coming into Ardha Pincha Mayurasana. Dolphin pose. Breathe in. Exhale, sigh. One more breath in. Exhale, sigh. Now this time, let's lift that right foot to sky. If you bend that knee, stack the hip just a little bit. Exhale, bring that knee back to center, replace the foot. You can come down to puppy pose if you want onto your knees. And do that same thing and lift the leg. Otherwise, you can be in full dolphin and bend and stack. Breathe in. Exhale, lower that foot. And now bend the knees just a little bit so we can come into downward facing dog. Pada Mukha Svanasana. Breathe in. Now inhale, float forward. Exhale, float it back. Pada Mukha Svanasana. And now exhale, let's step our right foot forward. Lower that left knee down. Find some stability here. Bring that right foot out towards the right side of the mat. We're going to come into lizard variation. Hands can be down on the earth. You can bring that right hand and twist a little bit, opening up that right hip. The right knee comes far out, and maybe the side of the right foot on the mat. Or keep that leg straight. If you come onto forearms, you can lift that back foot. Find that thought, that mantra. Let it fill this shape. Feel the energy of this shape in the body. And exhale. Now another deep breath in. Now exhale, walk the hands in. Bring that knee back to center. The left foot can rise, and then we'll step the right foot back to plank. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Inhale, float it forward. Let's bring our right knee to the right elbow, and then slide it over, like draw an imaginary line to the left elbow. And over to the right. Exhale, kick it up for 3-legged dog. Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, lower down the right foot. Inhale, float it up to plank. Exhale, float it back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now inhale the left knee to left elbow. Draw that line to the right elbow. Draw the belly button into spine. Over to the left elbow again. Kick it up and back. 3-legged dog. Exhale, lower down. Breathe in. And then exhale, step that left foot forward. Go lower the right knee. And then wiggle that left foot out to the left side of the mat. The right hand can come down. You can twist towards that left knee, pressing the left knee away, coming onto the outer part of that left foot. Or you can come onto the ball of that right foot and lower down. And now find that thought. Breathe it into this shape. Breathe it into the hips. Breathe it into that heart that's pumping. One more breath. Now exhale, bring the hands down. If you're on the forearms, lift up. And now from here, let's step it back, coming right into downward facing dog. Breathe in. And we'll inhale, step the right foot forward, coming into malasana. Then step the left foot forward. And sit down into yogic squat. And if that's a little bit too much on the knees, the option is always to kind of come into a side lunge and just go back and forth as we rest in malasana for maybe 7 more breaths. Always sit on the block. Good job. You breathe into those hips. Close the eyes. If you're in side lunge, just move with awareness back and forth from side to side. Now in malasana, let's send our left hand down towards the earth. The right arm reaches up to sky. You can bring it behind the head. That kind of helps you keep the shoulder and chest open, or you can lift it up to the sky. And out. Now exhale, bring the hands to the heart space. You can lift up and kind of straighten the legs at any point if you need to. Send the right arm down and the left arm up. Breathe into the hips. On that new thought, add it to your repertoire for the day. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And then fold the hands down. Option to come into crow if you want to come into crow. Or if you want to lift up into uttanasana, grab opposite elbows. We'll be here for 5 breaths. So whether you're hanging out in your crow pose with your toes together, or if you're in your uttanasana with opposite elbows, be there. Now if you're in crow, come to uttanasana, and then we'll bend the knees. We're going to rise all the way up. Stand. Exhale. Sweep the arms out again. Gather that thought. Hold it above the head. Then exhale, sit down into chair pose. Tuck the pelvis to engage the kind of top of the thighs where that hip creases. Breathe in. And out. In. And then exhale, rise, send the arms up. Keep those hands above the head. Ground into the left foot, bend that right knee. Let's come into our standing figure 4. And then sit down. And ankle rest on top of that thigh, above the knee. And now a little choice here. If you want to bring that right elbow to that sole of the foot and kind of twist a little bit, opening up the side of the hip. Extend the arms open. Just explore it. I was thinking about it today, like this is our yoga practice. We're just practicing, right? We're not performing, we're not on stage. This is practice. Practicing with the breath, practicing with a new thought. So bring that thought into your space. Let's come back to the heart center if you're not there already. Rise all the way up. Exhale, practice. Let's sweep our arms out, gather that thought. Exhale, bring it down to our heart as we bend that right knee and come right into our flying pigeon or flying figure 4. There's no fear, there's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad. You want to bend that elbow towards that sole of the foot. Option to do so. open. Breathe into the hips. A couple more breaths wherever you're at in your practice. And when you're ready, bring the hands back to the heart space. Rise up to stand. And then exhale, lower that foot down. If you're not facing your long edge already, find your blocks. Bring one to the front of the mat and then one to the back. And at the top of your mat, let's hinge forward halfway. Find a block. Maybe it's in the left corner of the mat. And that left hand with the block. Start to ground into the left foot, drag the right foot back. And now maybe you lift that leg a little higher and we stack those hips. We're going to breathe into the hips. Maybe we find half moon, whatever your half moon looks like today. And then feel that mantra through the day, that new thought, fill it in this space. One more breath. Now exhale, lower the hand, maybe square the hips towards the ground. And then step that right foot back, maybe come into a lunge and we float the arms up. And then exhale, bring the hands to the hips. Really drive that right hip forward, pivot the right heel down, and now pivot the left foot to face the long edge. Inhale to extend the arms. Bend the knees, gather that thought above the head. Exhale, draw it into the heart space, and let's hinge it forward, coming into Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Maybe the hands come to the floor. The sits bones kind of go up and then towards the sky. And as if you're creating space between those sits bones as we fold forward. Breathe in. And now let's exhale, pivot towards the back of the mat. So if you have that block on the other side of the mat. So it should be maybe in the right back corner. And if it's easier to just come to the front of your mat and move your block, you can do that. Step the right or the left foot to meet the right. So now we're at the feet are together, the back or the front. Ground into the right foot. The right hand kind of finds that block wherever it feels like it's a good steady spot for us. Sweep the left foot back. And when you're ready, you can stack the hips. And then feel into your half moon. Practice, practice. I'm going to practice with no block. Let your thoughts fill this space, the shape that you're in. And when you're ready, let's bring back to standing. Feet meet, hands meet, however that makes sense for you. Our feet meet, we fold it forward. We can turn our feet around, keep our head low. And now from our fold, let's walk our hands forward. Let's notice the backs of our legs as we do. We can bend the knees a little bit. Feel the backs of the legs stretch open. We'll come all the way up to plank. Those feet back, the heels reach for the back wall. Let's exhale to come onto the side of the left foot. Reach the right arm to sky, just one little breath. Then exhale, hand comes down. You can come to the forearms if you want. Tie the right foot, left arm reaches up. And then send the left hand back down. Bring the knees wide, let's sit back. Child's pose, breathe into those hips. And sigh. You're rocking side to side, one cheek to one heel and the other. Kind of settling into those hips. Let's inhale to lift up to tabletop, just so we can come into our seat. And in our seat, let's send our left leg long. We're gonna cradle the baby. So bring the right knee into the right elbow crease. Flex the left foot, and maybe the right foot comes into the left elbow crease. So maybe it's like this, or maybe you just have your hands on your shin. Lift the heart, and maybe tilt over to that long leg side. Maybe notice the outer hip. Just play around with it and see where you feel what you want to feel. That's going to support you in your practice. Really feel into it and explore. A couple more breaths. Maybe feeling that new thought in this shape. And now exhale gently. Kind of let that leg come forward and let the foot come across the left leg to the floor. Knee, hands on your legs, let's lift up through the chest and lengthen through the spine. Inhale to bring the right arm up. Left hand can stay on the knee or maybe on the shin. And then exhale to twist, bring that right arm behind us. Couple breaths. And then exhale, the heart comes to center, the right hand comes to the knee. And then send that leg out. And send our thigh out. And then we're going to cradle the baby on the other side. So find your variation. If you have your hand on your foot and your knee, or if it's in an elbow crease. And then yours might look really different than the person beside you, depending on kind of where you want to settle and kind of work out a groove. Just breathe. And gently letting that foot come on the outside of the leg. Palms in your legs or hands in your legs, lifting the heart, lengthening the spine, maybe adjusting those sit bones. Inhale to extend through the spine, extend through the hand, and let that hand come behind you on an exhale, twisting towards that bent leg. And exhale, bring that hand to center, heart shines forward over the knee toward the foot. And extend the legs out. And then make your way to your back to Shavasana. You're in a boat pose and lie down through a boat pose to the ground you can. Maybe you want to find reclined butterfly when you get there. Breathing into the hips again. Or maybe you find Shavasana straight away. Let's breathe that thought into this shape. Let it fill our entire being. On your next exhale, imagine that thought going before you, paving the way for your day. So wherever you go today, wherever you breathe today, that thought is there to meet you. to stand heart to heart with you. Remind you. Whenever you're ready, roll up onto a seated position. You can bring hands to heart. Breathe in. Exhale. Om.